In the sweltering, rumor-laden streets of rural Louisiana, where the bay's murky waters mirrored a sky heavy with secrets and the air thrummed with the relentless hum of cicadas weaving a tapestry of sound through the dense, humid air that clung to the skin like a second layer, the quaint town of St. Martinville simmered with an undercurrent of tension that belied its picturesque facade of moss-draped oaks swaying gently in the breeze and weathered clapboard houses standing as silent sentinels of a begun era. Nestled deep in the heart of Cajun country, where the scent of magnolias mingled with the earthy must of the swamp and the distant croak of bullfrogs punctuated the night. The annual Bears Harvest Festival was a vibrant escape from the everyday monotony, brewing tens of thousands with its sprawling crawfish boils that steamed the air with a heady mix of spice and tradition. The soulful twang, psychico melodies that pulsed through the crowd like a heartbeat, and lanterns that cast a warm, flickering glow over the muddy lanes, transforming the town into a living celebration of culture, community, and the resilience of the human spirit. At the heart of this lively tableau was Lila Mora, a 32-year-old mother with tiny eyes shadowed by sleepless nights spent pacing the creaky floors, her once vibrant spirit frayed by years of isolation that gnawed at her soul, suspicion that coiled like a snake in her mind, and the weight of a psyche teetering on the edge of collapse, her restless energy a stark contrast to the festival's joviality that seemed to mock her inner turmoil. Lila was the mother of 5-year-old Celeste, a bright and delicate child with wide brown eyes that sparkled with an innocence that pierced the darkness, a timid smile that hid her growing fears, and a love for crafting paper butterflies that became her refuge from the storms brewing at home. Her presence a beacon of light in their modest shotgun house perched precariously on the town's rugged outskirts where the Bayou lacked at its foundation. The house with its peeling paint curling like old skin exposed to the elements, a creaking porch that groaned under every hesitant step, and a locked attic that hinted at hidden tensions with its muffled creaks. The faint scent of mildew and the occasional rustle of unseen creatures was a sanctuary turned battleground where Lila's growing paranoia about her husband, Marcus Morrow, a 35-year-old oil-rig worker with calloused hands roughened by years of labor, a wary demeanor etched into the lines of his face like a map of exhaustion, and a habit of long absences that left gaping holes in their family life and fueled Lila's insecurities, sparked daily conflicts that reverberated through its thin walls like the tolling of a distant bell. Lila was a woman shaped by a turbulent past that haunted her like a ghost drifting through the Bayou mist, her childhood marked by neglect from a father who drank away his sorrows in the dim light of a shotgun shack, a mother who vanished into a silence as deep as the swamp itself, leaving her with whispers of family scandals that she carried like a heavy cloak woven from shame and unresolved grief. Her unease began when Celeste was born, a moment she described in hushed, trembling tones to a neighbor as feeling like the child carried a secret tied to her lineage, a connection that bordered on obsession and grew into a belief that Celeste was both a gift from the universe and a burden she must shield from harm, a duality that twisted her love into something possessive. By 2024, Lila had started documenting her spiraling suspicions in a series of frantic journal entries scribbled in a shaky hand across stained pages, voice memes recorded on a cracked tablet that buzzed with static and the occasional crackle of interference, and cryptic notes hidden in drawers beneath old clothes, accusing Marcus of hiding a double life filled with infidelity that she imagined in every late-night phone call, child endangerment that she saw in his distracted glances, and conspiring with a shadowy cult to steal Celeste away, claims fueled by misinterpreted phone calls that echoed with unfamiliar voices, late-night arrivals that left mud on his boots, and a neighbor's often comment about Marcus Corker that ignited her imagination. Celeste, a she-girl who found solace in her art, her paper butterflies a fragile shield against the storm brewing at home, became the focal point of Lila's delusions, seen as both a treasure to protect with her life and a threat to her fragile sanity that she feared losing entirely. Lila's breaking point came in early 2025, when she found a cryptic note she believed was from Marcuset's. Words were leaving soon, scrawled in an unfamiliar hand, though it was later revealed as a prank by a neighbor's mischievous child playing a cruel joke, igniting a firestorm of paranoia that convinced her he was planning to abandon them without a trace. Determined to flee with Celeste and shield her from this imagined scheme that played out in her nightmares, Lila saw the Bayou Harvest Festival with its teeming crowds as a perfect cover to slip away unnoticed as the stage for her desperate escape. A plan she hatched in the attic's dim light amidst the cobwebs that clung to the rafters, the echo of her own breathing, and the distant howl of a bear's wind. On July 21, 2025, at 8:30 in the East, which aligns with 1:30 in Kent, Louisiana time, as the festival reached its midday peak under a blazing sun. The Bayou Harvest Festival was alive with the rich aroma of boiling crawfish that wafted through the air like a siren's call, the lively strum of accordions that set feet tapping in a rhythmic dance, and the laughter of festival goers that mingled with the rustle of leaves and the splash of children playing near the water's edge, creating a symphony of life that masked the tension brewing beneath. Lila, in a faded sundress damp with sweat that clung to her skin like a second layer, moved through the crowd with Celeste in tow, the child clutching a paper butterfly she'd crafted that morning, its delicate wings trembling in her small hands, as if sensing the danger ahead. Lila's tablet, filled with her rants that spilled across the screen in a chaotic jumble, a final message blaming Marcus for her fears with words that trembled with accusation, and recordings of her whispered plans that echoed with desperation, was tucked in her bag, its weight a constant reminder of her mission that pressed against her side. Her nerves were frayed to breaking, a tightrope walk between sanity and collapse. She'd stopped taking her anxiety medication weeks ago, convinced it was part of Marcus' plot to dull her instincts and leave her vulnerable, leaving her mind a whirlwind of shadows, half-formed threats, and the ghostly images of a life without Celeste. Celeste's teacher, Miss Dubois, a compassionate woman with graying hair pulled into a tight bun, and a gentle voice that carried the weight of concern, who'd noticed Lila's erratic behavior, snapping at Celeste in public with a voice that cut like a whip, muttering to herself in the school parking lot that alerted social services with detailed reports about the child's safety. But the system's wheels turned slowly, bogged down by paperwork and underfunding, when Lila saw Marcus laughing with a coworker near a crawfish boil, his head thrown back in a rare moment of ease that seemed to mock her fears, his teeth flashing in the sunlight, her paranoia flared like a struck match that ignited a dry forest. She saw it as irrefutable evidence of his disloyalty, a sign he was caught in their departure without her, a betrayal etched in every line of his relaxed posture. She whisked Celeste to a quiet Bayou dock hidden behind a cluster of cypress trees, whose gnarled roots twisted into the water, planning to take a hidden boat she'd stashed weeks ago in a tangle of reeds and disappear into the swamp where the shadows would swallow them whole, her heart pounding with a mix of fear that clawed at her throat and resolve that steeled her spine. But a festival attendee, Jake Lantry, a 28-year-old blogger with a penchant for local drama, a camera always at the ready that hung around his neck like a talisman, and a curiosity that bordered on obsession, filmed their tense exchange. Lila's urgent whispers that carried on the wind, Celeste's wide-eyed confusion that froze her in place, posting it online with sharp Bayou escape igniting a viral story that rippled through social media within hours, its reach extending beyond the Bayou to the world beyond. The situation unraveled when Jake's video hit 5 million views, its grainy footage showing Lila's frantic demeanor with hands that shook as she gestured, Celeste's bewildered expression with eyes that darted to her mother, and the dock's eerie stillness broken only by the lapping water, sparking a frenzy of speculation across platforms that buzzed with theories and outrage. The town buzzed like a disturbed hive. Neighbors gathered on porches to whisper about Lila's mental state, their voices a low murmur carried by the breeze. Marcus rushed from the festival grounds to find them, his face etched with panic that twisted his features into a mask of dread, and police arrived with flashing lights that pierced the afternoon haze, their radios crackling with urgency as they coordinated their response. Lila, cornered at the dock as the boat rocked gently against the pilings that creaked with age, broke down under the weight of her delusions, her voice cracking like dry wood as she poured out her fears to the officer Martha's supposed plot that unfolded in her mind like a movie reel, the cult she imagined lurking in every shadow, the need to protect Celeste that drove her every action leading to their immediate placement in protective custody to prevent any harm from escalating beyond her control. The tablet's messages, recovered by police who sifted through its digital chaos, exposed her spiraling paranoia. Its recordings a chaotic mix of accusations that spilled like venom, pleas that trembled with vulnerability, and plans that revealed her desperation, prompting a mental health evaluation rather than criminal charges, though the community remained divided between pity and judgment. The festival paused as the incident cast a pall over the celebrations, with impromptu vigils held under the oaks where candles flickered in the dust like fireflies, debates raging about domestic strain and the need for better support systems that echoed through the streets, and a sense of unease that lingered like the Bay's fog. Marcus, devastated by his role in Lila's breakdown, admitted his neglect, his long hours that stretched into weeks, his emotional distance that left Lila dragging, his failure to seek her cries for help, going to seek counseling to rebuild their fractured family, while social services intervened with a caseworker assigned to monitor their home and guide them toward healing. The case uncovered deeper issues. A local prank culture that fueled Lila's delusions with its cruel jests, inadequate mental health resources in a rural parish that left families like hers to fend for themselves, and Marcus' unintentional contribution to her isolation that painted a picture of a family teetering on the edge of a precipice. By 2030, Lila, under psychiatric care that included therapy sessions in a sunlit room and a regimen of medication that steadied her mind, began to reconcile with Marcus. Their marriage mending grew, hours of tearful conversations that peeled back layers of mistrust, and Celeste thrived in a supportive environment where her butterfly art inspired a local program to help children express their emotions, her drawings now adorning community center walls. In 2100, descendants of the Moro family, guided by historical records unearthed from dusty archives, uncovered a prank ring tied to the Order of the Mist, a group with roots in St. Martinville's past that stretched back centuries, their efforts linked to a prophecy of unity and healing that echoed Celeste's resilience and Lila's redemption. By 3000, a descendant, Elena Moro, led a psychic harmony movement in a biotechnologian of touring coral skyscrapers that gleamed with bioluminescence, spirit portals that hummed with energy, and healing towers that pulsed with life, fulfilling a legacy of familial redemption that spanned generations, while the Order's Etu faded into legend, hinting at a possibility of peace across dimensions that shimmered on the horizon. Across centuries, Lila's flight and Marcus' awakening rippled through time, their story a testament to survival against the odds, the slow, painful process of healing that stitched their family back together, and the Bay's whispered promise of a future where love might prevail.